Hello, I'm NovaSC and I'm going to bring you a Protoss vs Zerg on Cactus Valley LE. This is one of the newish sort of ones with it's got a watchtower in the middle looking very sparkly. You have a very difficult to see minimap, which seems really bright, especially in the Legacy of the Void beta, which I've seen replay as an observer. For some reason the minimap's even brighter than it should be, which is ridiculous because it's already like pretty much white. So not there's anything wrong with white. So I'm Nova in the bottom right, actually playing as the Zerg player. I know as the Protoss player. I know I have played as a lot of random, confusing people to no end, but no, I am actually playing my main race for once, and I'm against this here Zerg player using the name tags, of course. He is Bumsper. This is my second try. For some reason I laughed the last time when I said bum. No idea. I didn't think I was a 10-year-old. I'm actually twice that age. You don't grow out of some things apparently. So I'm scouting the wrong position. So is he. Luckily, we're both scouting the wrong positions. This is going to be some marathon of the game. I'm trying to remember what game this was because I labelled it as Yum. Let's take these down. They get in the way. I labelled this replay as Yum. So it's going to take a little coming back to me. I haven't played many games on Cactus Valley because this was last season I played this game. For some reason they added in the map pool earlier than this season. I don't know why. This is this season's map pool, obviously, but they added it in last season when it wasn't supposed to be. I don't know. Maybe they just got a bit lazy. Some very unexpected things are happening in Heart of the Swarm. Like, I swear there's loads of bugs going around, but never mind. Never mind. It'll be Legacy of the Void soon. And they'll all be fixed. Everything will be wonderful. My opponent has gone for pull into hatch. So it's a pull first build. If I was going for a forge first, which I'm not, then I wouldn't be able to get much done with that. But luckily I'm going to go for an Nexus first. I didn't scout him. And he didn't scout me. And so this is a really nice situation. This is often the case where you get macro games where neither player scouts each other straight away. In that case, it's not really reliable going for aggressive builds usually if you don't get a scout off because, yeah, you don't know what's going to happen. It's like I wouldn't exactly go for like a crazy early aggressive push here because I don't know if he's gone for a third hatch or not. If he's still on one, I guess he could be on one base. That'd be hilarious, but no. Yeah, so I have no idea what I'm doing. So the best call is to play defensively and sit back, which I am doing. I've gone for a forge, a gateway, then a cannon. So this is really greedy for me. Holy shit, I didn't realise this. So an early pull would absolutely wreck this sort of opening, but that's fine. That's fine. I've survived in the end. Nexus, forge, gateway, cannon. Nice, nice. I didn't make I've made a second pylon as well. Double gas coming in straight after this makes perfect sense. The problem with opening this sort of way is I haven't made many probes yet because I've invested in all of this fast greedy tech and a fast nexus, and I've gotten these double gases, so that means I don't have many minerals left over, so I'm going to have to be cutting probes, unfortunately. A cheeky way to afford more probes is to actually get zealots and chrono boost those zealots. So instead of spending the chrono boost on the probes, which actually costs you money counterintuitively, you can spend the chrono boost on the zealots, which actually reduces the rate at which you're spending minerals. That's a cool little thing there. And you can also use the zealots to push in, which I am definitely going to do. When I make two zealots, pushing in seems a good idea, just to scout out what your opponent's doing. Often your opponent overcommits, makes too many zerglings to do with the two zealots as well, so that's always a nice plus. A single gas out of my opponent here. Sitting on two bases for quite a long time. I would expect a third base around now, but staying on two bases this long means it's probably going to get some extra gas quite early on, which is the case. Yep. Two zealots now walking on in. Just sit there for some reason. Why not? I'm just scouting at the third bases. The early timing for a third base is about 4 minutes 30 from a Zerg. So if I see that. If I'm going to see that was placed down 4:30, I'm going to know that some extremely greedy macro builds are coming out from my opponent, but I haven't seen that. So I'm expecting some sort of tech play. And is that the case? He's made quite a few zerglings, but not quite an overcommittal. So I don't think those zealots didn't really pay off, but they performed their role of scouting out whether he has a third or not. And it has forced him to make Zerglings. If he'd got away with not making those Zerglings, I would be in a pretty nasty situation. Units count. He's ahead by 5, 4 now, but 3 now, 2 now. Okay, sure, but he's supposed to be slightly ahead at this point in the game because of the hatcheries producing workers at a far more effective rate. My tech of choice is a Stargate. I've produced just a humble Void Ray. I may have started with an Oracle if I had seen a third base out of him. However, considering he's on just the 2 bases, I don't really want to be going for too much harassment because he hasn't spread out very much. Less likelihood of me getting anything done. And the Void Ray is going to be very helpful against any sort of 2-base tech, any 2-base aggression like roaches and things, so that's really nice. Very good against Banelings because you can focus down the Banelings, and you've just got a bunch of Zerglings attacking your wall, and that's not too much of a threat. Nice scout trying to move in here. What did he see? What did he see? What did he see? He's seen, I think he's seen the Stargate, and he's seen the Robo. He's seen pretty much everything. Easy peasy, but he doesn't know exactly what I'm going to be making out of either of those. He's seen 2 Void Rays out of me so far because I've just revealed them because I'm great. But unknown to him, the reason for me revealing these Void Rays is because I actually want them to be seen. I'm actually planning to go for a very fast Colossus tech. This is quite an old Wings of Liberty sort of style where you go for Void Rays into Colossus, because the correct response to the Void Rays, or one of the correct responses, and definitely one of the most common, is going for Hydralisks. It's a bit more of a reliable option than going for Mucilisks, because if I am going for Stargate, then I could easily go for Phoenix. And if you've gone for lots of Mucilisks early on to deal with the Void Rays, which is quite a good counter, you do have the trouble of worrying about Phoenix. Going for Blind Mucilisks has lost me games, unfortunately, because I don't really expect it. I usually sort of assume that my opponent's going to go for the more logical option, which is to not go for Mucilisks straight away. But it can really hurt you, especially if I'm going to go for Colossus, which I am. There we are. Adding on some more gateways now. In the case of emergency, that being the emergency being Mucilisks, which is really quite a worry that I need to be thinking about, considering he's seen that Robo tech out of me. Yeah, in the event of Mucilisks coming out to deal with my Colossus and Void Rays, then having those gateways to produce some Stalkers is really useful. So he's producing just 2 Hydras. He's got quite a few Queens responsibly, but now the number of units I'm facing here is getting a bit too much, so I'm gonna recall out of there. The idea of that push was to try and deny that third, but it was also mainly to force out Hydralisks from my opponent, because Hydralisks are not going to be good against the tech I'm going for, which is the Colossus. First Colossus warping on in there. These 2 Void Rays have got a few kills. Have I got any workers killed? I haven't killed any workers this game, and neither is Hilly, which is actually strange for a Zerg player not to kill any of my probes. That's weird. But now I'm transferring probes like this. He has lots of opportunities to get some worker kills, but he's not really going for it. Taking a 4th. He's seen a Colossus tech. He's seen Void Rays. Yeah, I can't really have much of an army. I've just got these high-tech units, which aren't actually going to be very good aggressively. They're going to be good defensively because with all these walls in the way, it's going to be hard for him to get up to the Colossus really closely. So yeah, a good option for him is to expand, and I like that choice a lot. Flying Locust coming out from my opponent here. So this game was played after the patch, which changed Swarm Hosts quite a lot, and have destroyed Tempests as a unit completely. Have made Tempest completely useless. So I'm not going to be going for Tempest in this game. Absolutely not. On 3 bases, income should be good. Yep. Yeah, we're on pretty good income. As I add in those extra gases, then I'm going to be catching up in gas as well. So I'm looking in great shape for income. However, this 4th base is what's going to be getting him into a nice position in this game. Now I've got my 3rd Colossus coming on in. I'm starting to round out my composition with some Stalkers. I'm also going to be working on Blink. Yeah, almost got Blink. Wow, so I have a nice round composition very early on with +1. I've delayed upgrades quite a lot. Just the way I like to play it, actually, because I go for an extremely long game, which makes sort of counterintuitive. I'm going to be getting 3-3-3 eventually, but I'm not too worried about getting it early on. I'm favouring the Colossus to keep me alive. Yeah, I have a very strange playstyle. I'm very curious to how other commentators would like to commentate my style. So Void Ray is just picking off the Overlords, which are trying to deny my 4th base here. Going for 4th base is going to be very good for me because I've got such a strong army here. I'm even going to go for Storm here. I'm just getting all my tech in really fast. This is such a fast Storm, considering I've gone for 3 Colossus already. So greedy, and there's not much he can do to punish this until he gets some high tier units out, which he has. So he's got these Vipers out, and this is why I need those High Templar out really quickly, because Viper attacks here without High Templar are going to absolutely wreck my army. The Vipers are going to be able to isolate the Colossus and allow the rest of his very beefy, strong army with the Hydralisks and Roaches to clean up everything. And now moving into my 4th, so I'm not actually behind in economy at all at this point. He's not even mining off this 4th base of his. You'd expect his Zergs to be slightly ahead in economy, and he's not really that far ahead, especially considering he's not mining his gases yet. Army values, I would have thought the army value would be favouring him at this point. Only slightly though. I'm now like adding on, I'm adding quite a few gateways at this point. At this sort of stage in the game, I really need to worry about big attacks coming, so I just need a nice beefy Milk Shield from my Colossus and my High Templar to keep me alive. Stalkers aren't generally considered a good meat shield, but with good Blink Micro they can last a long time. Moving and trying to take the Watchtower. This might not pay off. Trying to spread out a little bit. Really good storms, holy shit. Not microing my storms, my stormers as well as I could have, but he didn't actually focus them down, so I got 2 whole waves of storms up here, saving a few Colossus. The Yanks were good, but not good enough. The storms were just even better. Good god, that was really good. That was really powerful. I didn't notice how good those storms were when I was playing, I think. I was too busy microing the Colossus back and stuff. That was a lot of fun to watch. I'm really glad I've rewatched this video. This replay. Whoa, that was fun. Okay, so Colossus coming out from me. I've gone for a Warp Prism at this point. When we spread out to this many bases, so definitely 4 and above. Really want to be making Warp Prisms regularly because I have a lot of gateways. I have a Dark Shrine. I have good upgrades. Do I have charge? I almost have charge, so I'm going to have lots of potential to harass my opponents from the backside. Don't make a habit of that. You can that is frowned upon. Many gateways coming on in here, so I tend to just dot them out everywhere. Make them in front of bases because it makes it harder for Roaches and Hydras to charge up and snipe bases. That's really nice. So now I'm warping in some units into his main base from the backside, and he's scrambling to deal with it. When I usually like to make a movement with my army with my main army, into one of his naturals, and then go for a recall whenever I do this. However, I think I don't have a Monstrous Core at this point. Do I have a Monstrous Core? Where is he? Where is she? Where is she? There it is. Yeah, Monstrous Core wasn't done. Yeah, I had no recall, so I didn't really want to risk moving out because of all these Vipers. I could get surrounded. I could lose my whole army very easily. So I'm going to go for this very counter-attacking style. I'm just trying to pull him back a little bit. Just give me some time so that I can set up a 5th base. 5th base? What on earth? He's only on... Wow. Wow, I'm starting his 5th base about the same time as him. So this isn't good for a Zerg player. I've got far more of an economy as he'd like. And I'm still making lots out of this Robo. Making nice round compositions here with Storms and Colossus. Just not too much of anything that he can counter anything too hard. I've just got a nice round composition. And he's got Hydralisks, many are Hydralisk. Decent upgrades, now finishing his 3-3. This is the perfect time for him to attack. I never really do this. I never actually do what he's doing here and push out with upgrades finishing. That's something I really should do more often. So this is great from him. And he does have these... What am I doing? I've got the Colossus in the front! I've got the Colossus in the front! I've got the Colossus... Ah, this is not going to go well. Okay, a decent... Okay, an okay storm landing on some Roaches. Landing on more Roaches. Good storm, really good storms. I don't think he actually cares about the storms. I don't know why, because they're doing a lot of damage. Feedback going off there. Losing all my High Templar. That was a really bad engagement. Oh my god. Wow. Wow, this is really dangerous looking. I'm making his Colossus still. He hasn't brought his Okay, he's retreating. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Sure. I definitely think he could have killed some more units there, but I guess Hydralisks aren't going to trade as well as he would have liked, so I guess that's just a nice safe play moving out there. He did have the risk. He did run the risk of losing Vipers, which are very expensive to the Stalkers there. He did have the risk of losing his whole army to the Colossus, which were just about to pop. So, yeah, maybe a good choice retreating. Now he's going to regroup with his army. Got lots of Overseers, got lots of Roaches as a buffer. Yeah, this is a good attack here. And I'm sort of back out of position here. He's going to be able to bust down my front wall, knock out my forges, which haven't really done much upgrading. Like 3-1-1. Got my 3 weapons, which I've made a point of getting early. But I haven't got a good shield and armor upgrades yet, so knocking out those forges is pretty good. Storms, but now he's got himself surrounded like a fool! I don't know what he's doing here. He really wants to make it taking this arc here. Maybe he's busy dealing with the attack in his main base. Misrallying quite a lot of stuff, losing swarm hosts for free, almost. There we go, there's that swarm host dead. What? Okay, right, sure. Locust did a lot of damage there, cool. Swarm host just like almost instantly killed 3 units by launching a Locust. Locusts are pretty good apparently. But yeah, he's shutting down this base. Meanwhile though, big Zealot Warpins here. I didn't use the Warpins to defend my main base because what really would Zealots do here without any sort of support from Colossus and stuff, so... Oh no! Poor guy! He's sent his whole unit, his whole army back to help deal with the attack in his main base. Unfortunately that included his Overseers, so he's lost quite a few units here. Common Zerg mistake of making loads of Overseers when you only need a couple. You only need really one Overseer really, but yeah, instead of having them all in a ball, maybe he should have them spread out, which is what I tend to do, so maybe have an Overseer here, Overseer here, Overseer here, so that you can just grab them when a DT is nearby, instead of having them all in a ball, because I could just feed back all of these and kill them all off, which I'm sure will happen, though I can't actually remember this game too well, even though it was last week I played it, but yeah. Nice abduct, yeah. Gonna kill off the Warp Prism. Not sure if Blizzard had that in mind, the other Vipers, when they originally planned it, but it's such a good use of the Viper. Really nice for Zerg players to have that utility to help them deal with Warp Prism drops, because Warp Prism drops are just so hard to deal with if you can't actually, if you can't get the Warp Prism. It's got a few Vipers, lots of Roach Hydra. I think a next step would have to be Ultras or something, because my army is Stalker, Colossus, High Templar, and that's not very good against Ultralisks. Going for one of these counter-attack plays. Colossus just sitting happily in my own base. I'm instantly going to die to a Viper, very good. And I'm bringing my whole army back. That 5th base up here has been settled into nicely. I've only got a few workers for each mineral patch, but I have all those gases saturated, which is the most important part. Really hard to attack up here. I'm trying to get some storms off, which are dealing a hell of a lot of damage. I love storms. Dealing with the Vipers pretty good as well, but I just don't have enough still. Ramps being pretty good against me. And the nail in the coffin, as always, is DTs. I just don't know. I just can't fathom why Zerg players never have Overseers just like sitting around here, just waiting for DTs to get warped in. It just seems strange. DT's putting in some serious work. So many kills there. Looks about 20 kills or so. Warp Prism coming on in, killing off some Evo chambers, but unfortunately he has all of his upgrades already. I wonder if he has. He might not have. No, he doesn't have +3 rounds. That's the only thing he doesn't have though. But he has a lot of Overseers anyway. He has a lot of evolution chambers anyway, so that's fine. So that's all over the place at this point. Once Zerg players are spread out this way, there's lots of opportunities for you to harass them, so I can warp in a big line of Zerts here and march them across like this, into this area, or this area as you just saw. I can warp in units here and just have them walk up here, or I can make a Warp Prism and warp them in at this location, so that's going to be very good at sniping this Hydralisk then, because I think he only has one of those at the moment. Oh, actually he doesn't have any Hydralisk stands other than that one, so that's really a good target for me to hit there. Favouring lots of Stalkers still, even 27 minutes into the game, because having like that that buffer for your High Templar is really good. I love Stalker High Templar. It's a really fun composition to use, and it's so good against Hydralisks. It's just incredibly good against Hydralisks and Vipers. This composition melts so much to Storm. Having the Archons there as well is pretty good. Having the option to morph Archons is always nice. Because Archon's so good against a race which only has biological units. So he's pushing into my 4th base, going to be shutting that down. Needs to again be worried about getting surrounded. I think having a Zergling here is really nice so that he can back out and get a nice arc. Which he's doing, there he goes. There he goes, he's trying it. It could have ended badly if I had a bigger army, but no, his army's just way too big, army value. Yeah, favouring him quite a bit. Shutting down more bases here. Storms, too good! He just runs into these storms. I feel like I'm playing against the Zerg player here who isn't really used to playing against the style that I play. I think he's more used to just playing against lots of Colossus, which is why he hasn't really made any Ultralisks or anything like that. Ultralisks so good against High Templar. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Tickle me with your little shitstorm? That was really bad. Don't know why I said that. So, more Zealot Warpins. I've got this Warp Prism at the back. It made a few units. The really great thing about having Zealots in your opponent's base is not only do they are able to shut down some tech structures, kill some tech structures there, but they can also trade really nicely with Hydralisks, because often players spawn some Hydralisks, just send them to deal with the Zealots, but Zealots are so good against Hydralisks like when they have charge, because Hydralisks don't have much HP, Zealots deal a lot of damage. Trying to be responsible and clear out this creep tamer. The APM from my opponent's gonna have to be off the charts to spread all these creep units, because he's got teamers coming out here, he's got them coming out here. He's got them coming down here, which he's been quite responsible in doing, because this is a good counter-attack path for me, so having vision here is really useful for him. Getting overlord spreads, this guy's really good, I'm really impressed with this guy. The only mistake I think he's making is not taking up further than the army composition he's made. I'm really interested in the APM. Reasonable? Reasonable. I was expecting higher from him, considering he was doing so much, but yeah, never mind. About 120 APM from my opponent, 150 for me. Just so many effective actions per minute, I guess, from this guy. Now I finally finished off that Hydralisk then. Finally accepted and acknowledged that that's a good target. Killing off all the weakened structures. Going for the hive, that's a really good target here, but he does already have a secondary hive. That's really responsible from him. Damn, he's making such a good decision in this game. I really feel bad. I feel like he should have won at this point. There's lots of opportunities where he's almost won, like up here where he's been shutting down my base, or here. But I think he's just taken too much damage from storms. Maybe his splits haven't been on point. There's some good splits. Minimizing the damage from those storms, I wouldn't be in such a good situation here. A single robotics facility pumping out lots of Colossus, being absolutely key in this game. Could really do with a second one actually. Lots of cannons, dealing with Zergling counterattacks, but he hasn't really done that many counterattacks to be fair. I feel like I'm out counterattacking a Zerg, which feels weird. Another Zealot movement up here. He keeps seeing everything with this Overlord. I really wanted to shut that down, but I haven't gotten around to it, because it's really important to have my army in a good position to defend all these pushes in with Roach Hydras. He's splitting up his army nicely. Got quite a few spines, which is responsible, because these are extremely important bases. By having loads of spines around here, he can defend 2 bases effectively, so that's nice. Oh no, my Warp Prism's gonna die. Oh no, that's unfortunate. So I'm gonna have to make another one of those, which I'm doing instantly. Great stuff, guy. Great stuff, guy. The reason that's not a good thing to have to remake those is because I have one robotics facility, and that's responsible for building all of my Colossus at the moment. That's mostly my fault. I could easily have another one at the moment, but no. Opting to make lots of stalkers and things. So having that Warp Prism right now would be really, really damn good, because I could warp in some units into his natural while I was going for this push. But this is a really nice position to be in. He's attacking into me, and I have Storm. So now he's going to have to run into Storms. This isn't good for him at all. This is really not a nice situation for him to be in. He yanked a nice Colossus there, and a second one. killing the beef of my army, moving into now to do another one, to kill the finishing one. But even though he's just crushed through this army, he's wasted a lot of units to storms. The storms have weakened his army for the Colossus to do extra shots off. Meanwhile, I've just walked these zealots in, killing his spawning pool. Is that his only one? Might be his only spawning pool. No, he's got no spawning pool. So responsible, this guy. Well done. Well done, sir. Well done, sir. Rebaking your units just in case I shut them down over here. Really good stuff. I think he does have all of his upgrades now. No? Interesting. He doesn't have his +3 melee yet. But still, he hasn't gone for Ultralisk, which is really surprising, I find. Making lots of layers all over the place. He's not going to be without his tech. But I think he's losing the economy game at this point. He really needs to be shutting down more of my bases than he has been. I'm moving into yet another base. I've almost taken this whole side of the map. This is before he has. This isn't looking good for him. I have a big army. He has a big army at this point. Lots of Hydralisks. But again, I have storms, and he's just walking straight into it. He lost 2 whole Hydralisks to that. With 3 storms, he's lost almost all of his army. A 4th one, killing off. Oh, what little remains. Cannon's doing a lot of damage. He's just not trading well enough, and I think that's just the lack of micro from on his part there. Almost got a free Colossus. If he microed, he definitely would have got a free Colossus, free Archon, which is nice. Oh, unfortunately, in these sort of skirmishes, he's not coming out as well as he could have done, even though he's been playing really good. Warp Prism in the prime position. There's not much left over here. I guess I can finish off this hive, though he does have backup hives, so that's not even a big deal. Does he have another infestation pit? He only has 1 infestation pit, so I guess that's the target. Responsibly cleaning up creep tombs with an observer, which is something I don't do enough. I really don't do enough. I'm walking in a few zealots and a DT over here. Just constantly trying to go for counterattacks. I've dotted observers all over the place. I've been absolutely constantly producing out of this robotics facility. That's absolutely key to winning these sort of matches without having to invest too much in technology. Got my 3 clusters working on here. Got lots of High Templar. And now he's going for some Swarm Hosts. So this is a good choice. Swarm Hosts, Brood Lords, Ultralisks, as I've been saying quite a bit. Really good choice for dealing with the competition I have here, because High Templar aren't good against those sort of units. They're really good against Zerglings, Roaches, Hydras, Mooslisks, those sort of things. Squishy units. Though Locusts are squishy, the Swarm Hosts themselves aren't that squishy, because they dart in, drop some things, run off. Very difficult for the High Templar to land a storm on top of them, especially in the new design of the Swarm Host anyway. Another big warp in here, just trying to spread him out here, trying to shut down all of his structures. If I were him, I wouldn't even be worried too much about these zealots, because the structures here aren't even particularly important, apart from maybe that infestation pit. But now I'm walking in from the side, he hasn't seen it, he doesn't have the overlords, he's only just seen this attack coming, and this is massive, this is a really big attack. 3 High Templar, 3 Colossus, considering the state of the size of the army from both players here. I don't think he has enough to do with what we have here. This base has just provided me with a nice choke. He might have to go for a counterattack at this point. Is he going to go for it? No, I definitely think a counterattack would be better, because attacking into this choke isn't good. He does have the advantage of me not having a Mothership core with this army. I really just acted with the opportunity. Wanted to seize the opportunities when he was out of position to just attack. But I still think my army's stronger. It's quite a lot of Swarm Hosts. They're going to do quite a bit of damage. Not quite killing anything because the DPS of my army, the splash damage is too good. And he's left. Oh. And I was trying to pause, but that button just randomly appeared. So I hope you enjoyed that game. That was quite impressive. I think you'll agree. That was a really cool game. He was just losing. I think he's left because he was just losing from the left-hand side. He was losing his army from the left-hand side. His economy was completely denied because he had all of his economy just built up in this area here, whereas mine was spread out just a little bit. I could possibly have retaken this. Not many minerals here, but I probably could have. No, maybe I couldn't have taken that. But yeah, a counter-attack definitely would have been better for him. He just lost all of his economy, and his yeah, didn't really have much hope at that point. would have really have liked to see how well the Swarm host worked out, because I feel like if the game went on longer, the Swarm host would have paid for themselves a lot more. But yeah, he just lost his army. He just lost his economy. It's actually really harsh for him. I feel bad. He played quite well. Yeah, I'm rambling. I know I'm rambling. I just feel like I've devoted a lot of effort into this game, and it's part of me now, and I don't want to stop. I don't want to stop. This is a really important part of my life. It's a cool composition though. I really want to try it out, because these Swarm hosts sort of have a similar sort of role as the Ultralisk sort of thing, because they're good against the High Templar, because the Locusts get up really close to the army. You can't exactly storm on top of your own army. I mean, you can, because it doesn't kill anything. Storms don't actually kill any Protoss units, they only take away shields. But, yeah, I like it. I like it. I want to see more of it. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I better end eventually. I'll see you later. Goodbye!